Yuntai Mountain, which is our destination today, is located in the north of Henan province. Now this incredible site is not only classified as a World Geological Park, a National Scenic Area, a 5A rated destination, but also the Red Rock Gorge here is a sister park to the Great Canyon in Colorado. In order to get to Yuntai Mountain, I boarded a plane from Hong Kong and flew to the province capital Zhengzhou of Henan, where I then took a car to the mountain. Once here, I wanted to explore the famous Red Rock Gorge, but to get there, it's quite a mission. First, I went through Quanpu Gorge, then Tanpu Gorge. After that, I had to cross the river to reach the Funling Gorge, where I saw the Monkey King, Mr. Du, before finally arriving at the Red Rock Gorge.
After a 2-hour flight from Hong Kong, we're finally here at the main entrance of Yuntai Mountain National Park. And this park is so famous they had to build 2 entrances. This was built in 2005 to accommodate all the people. Around 30,000 people come here daily, and the parking lots can hold around 5,000 cars at the same time. And what's even more interesting is that the light poles in the parking lot can harness the wind and solar power to generate electricity.
The Yuntai Mountain Scenic Area prides itself on being eco-friendly, no factories, no pollution, minimal construction, and their main power source are windmills and solar panels.
Here it is, the main entrance.
This main entrance hall was built back in 2005 during the peak travel season. It said it can contain thousands of people at the same time. So you'd think if it can hold that amount of people, then facilities inside must be pretty good. Well, if I've heard that aside from the ticket and checking services, they also have a travel service center which can offer you any information or tools you might need for the journey to Yuntai Mountain. For example, they can offer you maps, telescopes, compasses, among many other things. Anyway, sorry guys, I got a little sidetracked there. What was I doing again? That's right, looking for my guide.
Hi Lily.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Yuntai Mountain.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
Present for you.
Oh, thank you so much. Look at that. It's a map of the place.
Yeah.
I like it. This is Lily. She's been working here for around 3 years, and I've been told she's the best tour guide there is in the entire park. You're welcome. Is it okay if you give us a tour around here?
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Lily, of course, is her English name. Her Chinese name is Zhongli, and she's the best tour guide in the area. She has been working around Yuntai Mountain for over 5 years now, and she knows everything there is to know about the area. So I figured she'll be the best person to take me around Red Rock Gorge. Before we start our journey, I should briefly explain how the ticket system works. Everything here is done electronically, so you don't have to carry any tickets around with you. All you have to do is scan your fingers at the computer, and it will show you what type of ticket you've purchased. Lily told us the whole Yuntai Mountain Scenic Area is about 240 square kilometers, which is about 93 square miles. In order for everyone to get around there are over 200 buses constantly in service going to all the scenic spots. There are even some areas that instead of buses have battery cars taking people to those scenic spots where buses can't reach. Quanpu Xia, or Quanpu Gorge, is one of the most popular spots along the Yuntai Mountain Scenic Area. The gorge is about 3 kilometers in length, which is about 1.3 miles. And here you will be able to see some of the most amazing cliffs, springs, and waterfalls. To really enjoy all these breathtaking sights, you'll need about 2 hours. Based on my previous experience, I can tell you it's hard to get lost in Yuntai Mountain. Everything is easy to find, and all the routes are well marked. Some signs might be in Chinese, but they're pretty basic to follow.
Well, before we go any further, there are 2 Chinese characters that we need to know if we're going to take a tour around this beautiful park. And the first one's down here. This character here means shen, and in English it's mountain. That's because it has its 3 high peaks in the character. So when you see this character throughout the park, you know you're headed in a direction to see a very beautiful mountain scenery. Now the other character is right behind me. Follow me. This right here is the second Chinese character, and it's shui, which is water, and it looks like water droplets. So whenever you see this sign, you're either coming up to a stream or a waterfall like the one behind me. Shui Lempu, curtain waterfall.
If you are wanting to go along the routes where there are waterfalls and streams, then follow this sign. If you want to go down and see valleys or huge mountains, then follow this sign over here.
Lily here was just explaining to me why this rock bedding here is so unique. And when the tide would come in and out, it created a herringbone design on the rock itself. And you can see how beautiful that looks.
This is wave stone. It was shaped by the sea wave billions of years ago.
It is widely believed that the whole Yuntai Mountain used to be at the bottom of the sea, and over billions of years, pressure from the earth pushed it up while also turning sand into rocks. Now it is up to you whether you believe that or not, but the one thing we can be certain about is the incredible age these rocks are dated at. Lily told me the oldest rock in the whole country is found here. It's called zircon, and this rock has been dated at 3.4 billion years old. Yuntai Mountain is available to tourists during all 4 seasons. Each season will offer a unique view. When is the most popular time to travel here? Well, most say from August to September. Surprisingly, that's during the rainy season, but that offers the streams and rivers to be at peak performance. Water has always been held in high regard in China, especially during the time when Lao Tzu was the founder of Taoism. He always preached the importance of water. Also, according to good feng shui, places that have beautiful water and mountains and landscapes are the best. Hence the reason Qin Shi Huang picked a place in between Li Mountain and Wei River to be buried. Originally, this valley here had a river flowing through it. However, in order to bring more water resources to the locals, there were many dams built in the area. Now the interesting thing is, no one would have thought these dams would have turned out to be such a famous scenic spot.
Further down the valley, it makes a sharp right, preventing any breeze from coming in these parts, which gives this name here, Yutan, still pond.
The Tempu Gorge scenic area is about 1 mile long, and the only concession stands is at the entrance, so make sure you get all your food and drinks before you go in. However, don't waste your money on bottled water, because Lily told me that the natural water you'll find around these areas is so amazing you'll be left speechless.
Whenever you see water coming out of limestone like this, you know the water is very pure. As the water sifts through the limestone, it gathers all the minerals and dirt out of it. And what it leaves behind is water so good, it's better than the water you can buy at the stores. You won't taste water like this anywhere else.
This spring is called Longevity Spring. The water here is quite famous actually, not only because of its taste, but because apparently it has brought people a lot of good health.
Entrance of Tanpuxia, which means Pond Waterfall Valley.
Pond Waterfall
Yeah.
Valley. That would explain the 2 characters over there that we learned earlier, water and water, right?
Yeah.
And that last one is mountain.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go inside.
Okay.
Okay.
According to the guides, there are over 100 springs, ponds, waterfalls around Yuntai Mountain, and the best ones are all available for the tourists to visit. For example, you've got Xuanpu Gorge and Tempu Gorge. Tempu Gorge is a little bit more rugged compared to Xuanpu Gorge, so keep that in mind when choosing which route to go on.
Earlier, as we were climbing the really steep part of the stairs, we passed by a really old gentleman, and he gave us a quick tip on how to get up these stairs easier. And what you do is, You put your foot sideways and you climb cross-legged like this and release all the stress on your legs. And it really does work.
Schwimpu Gorge is 3 kilometers long and it will take about 3 hours to finish. But don't hold me on that because the views are so stunning you may find yourself lost in its breathtaking sights. You've got the Whispering Springs, the Waving Stones, the exclusive peaks, Double Peak, Long Gong, and at the end, you've got the Yuntai Tanpu, which literally means the heavenly waterfalls of Yuntai. Many say this waterfall is the best scenic spot in Yuntai Mountain. This sensational waterfall is the highest in Asia and stands at a remarkably 314 meters high with a width of 5 to 7 meters. Right, so we've seen the biggest waterfalls, but where's the reservoir here in Yuntai Mountain? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's somewhere in the north of the park. It's Funling Gorge.
This is very, very beautiful. So what are we looking at here?
Oh, we are looking at Fenglingxia.
Fenglingxia.
Yeah, Fenglingxia.
Fenglingxia.
Yeah, that's correct.
What does that mean?
It means the peak forest.
The
gorge.
Peak Forest
Yeah.
Gorge. Nice. And the lake here?
The lake here is Feicui.
And that means?
That means the Jade Lake.
Jade Lake. Let me guess. Jade Lake is because of the color.
Yeah, that's true.
Very beautiful.
And let's look at this.
What's this here?
It's the highest peak in this gorge, and it's named Tianwangfeng.
Tuanguangfeng
Yeah, it means the general peak.
General Peak. That would be a great place
Yeah.
to take a few pictures. Can we go there?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, let's go.
Funling Gorge is about 40 kilometers or 31 miles north of the main gate, and the location of this gorge gives tourists a unique view of the mountain. While all other rivers go through valleys, Funling Gorge forms a lake. Just have a look at the picture. I honestly can't believe something like this can exist in northern China. This lake was built back in 1971, and the dam is the biggest masonry gravity dam in the world. As you can see, it's surrounded by mountains. So before crossing this lake, let's take a hike up to the top of those peaks and take a look down below.
Wow, it's very beautiful. I've been looking at this view for at least 15 or 20 minutes. I just can't get enough of it. And you can only get this view here on the top of General Peak in Funling Gorge. Whether you know how to swim or not, it really doesn't matter. In China, safety is number one. So they hand everybody a vest and they make sure everyone wears one. There's a lot of things in China that they give a Chinese name to it, and then when you translate it to English, Rock Mountain or Pig Face, or when you look at the object, it doesn't look anything like that, right? But here, Jade Lake is very much like the color of jade, which is beautiful. I don't usually get to see that.
What it looks like. What do you think?
That looks like a dog too. Waves?
No.
Dolphin?
No.
Snake?
No.
Not many animals do this.
An animal in desert.
Camel.
Yeah, camel.
This is a camel in Chinese.
The thing is a snake. Snake is like this.
Okay, snake.
Yeah.
This is definitely a dolphin. Okay. A camel does not.
It means the two mountains.
The
on
two
back.
humps. The two humps on the back.
This Jade Lake has 5 ports. Now if you have time, then I suggest heading to all of them. But if you only have time for one, then head to Laojin Port. So why this port? Well, why don't we ask Lily? As a geological park, Yuntai Mountain has done a great job keeping its natural environment, which makes the wild animals flourish in their habitat. So when you're walking through, just keep in mind you might see some, like monkeys. Well, today we caught up with a man who's in charge of feeding all the monkeys here on Yuntai Mountain. His name is Mr. Du.
This man over here,
Okay.
he takes care of all the monkeys.
All of them?
Yeah, all of them.
So he's like the monkey king.
Yeah, I will introduce him to you.
Oh, please.
This is Mr. Du.
Hi, Mr. Du. Ni hao.
你好，你好。
Ni hao. He has a very deep voice. So, how does he take care of all the monkeys?
He feed them.
He feeds them.
Yeah.
So you're gonna feed all the monkeys.
你就是喂所有的猴子吗？
How does he do that?
怎么喂呀？
那就叫下来就行了，叫下来在地下
You
一
can
上
call。them down.
He can make the sound
Yeah.
as the macaque.
Yeah.
Can we see this?
OK，试试吧。
现在你讲起来，像已经太害怕了，你那猴还害怕了。
What is he
没
saying?
靠我这。
The monkeys are
哦
afraid of strangers.
Oh, they're afraid of strangers.
So I give me I'll give
哦。
This is the way Mr. Du communicates with the monkeys. What's remarkable is that the monkeys actually respond. Every afternoon, around 3 o'clock, Mr. Du brings all sorts of fruits and seeds that he gathers daily for the monkeys' lunch. Normally, all the monkeys will gather around him, but it seems that we may have scared them.
This monkey we see right here, he's the alpha monkey. He's the head of all the monkeys. So we need to be a little bit careful with them because we don't want to show that we're too dominant. They read body language very, very well.
However, after the alpha male comes to make sure everything is safe, the rest follow suit. It's quite amazing to see how large his family is and how willing they are to obey his orders. When all the monkeys have gathered in the square, I can't tell you who is who, but not surprisingly, Mr. Du knows each one by name. This one here is the prince of the group. He was born in March, meaning he will be the future king. These species of monkeys are called macaques, and they are commonly found all throughout Asia, from Japan to Iran.
These macaques are the most northern macaques in China. So they're a bit bigger than the other macaques. Their hair is a little longer to accommodate with the winter because here it gets quite cold.
The macaque monkey have a strong foundation in China, but because they're wild, people seldomly see them. But as this park have protected and secured their habitat, you have a better chance to enjoy this wonderful species. Macaques here live mostly by the cliffside, valleys, or banks, and usually you'll find them in groups of 30 to 50, but depending on the environment, some of the groups can get as large as 200 monkeys, especially during mating season. Now you'll know if you are close to a group just by looking on the ground. That's because when the macaques eat, they pick up all the ripe fruit and leave the wasted ones behind. They don't just eat fruit, they also eat eggs, insects, even ants. See those cages there? They're equivalent to the timeout corner. No, I'm just joking. Those cages are actually used for keeping injured or sick monkeys in confined spaces to make sure they're fully fit before they're released back into the wild. Alright guys, it's time to move on from the monkeys. But if you have the time, make sure to come past and see the 6-year-old man, the king of all monkeys, Mr. Du. Okay, right off to our next destination.
This is Hongshuxia.
Hongshengxia? What's Hongshengxia?
That means restaurant gorge.
This is the restaurant
Yeah,
gorge?
yeah.
Really? Come on, let's take a look. Wow. That is breathtaking.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
It is a sister park with Grand Canyon America.
Yes, that's what I read online. That's the whole reason why I came here to begin with.
Now I can show you a whole strata system from here.
Okay.
The very top of the mountain is limestone, and they were formed about 500 million years ago. And from this level, we can see all randstone. They were formed about 1 to 1.4 billion years ago.
Billion years
Yeah,
ago.
billion. And at the very bottom of this gorge, there were schistostone, and they were formed about 2.5 billion years ago.
Wow.
And more. You can see that under the level of the schistostone,
Yes.
the geologists once found some zirconstone, and they were formed about 3.4 billion years ago.
3.4 billion years ago.
And it's old age, very, very old.
Yes.
So do you want to take a closer look?
I would love to take a closer look.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, thank you. Let's go.
Well, this place used to be called Wenpen Yu, or Wenpen Valley, which means the gorge with a fixed temperature. This is because the Red Rock Gorge is deep within a valley, and the air doesn't circulate much, so the climate stays the same. All year round, the gorge is about 10 degrees centigrade, making it warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
I'm walking on Ching Ren Chao, which is Valentine's Bridge, due to the two holes that are underneath. It shapes a top of a heart. Very beautiful. Wow. That's incredible.
The whole Yuntai Mountain area has gone through many geological changes over billions of years. For example, the waving and mudstones that we saw in Tempu Gorge were just to name a few. You can find similar rocks in the Red Rock Gorge.
Everything you see here once used to be the bottom of the ocean a billion years ago. And for example, if you take a quick look at this rock, it's called Webe Sherp, which means turtle shell rock. And it's really interesting because after the ocean started dropping and these rocks started appearing in the sun started baking these rocks. And each section here would start breaking apart. But then a lot of floods started coming in. And as every flood came in, it brought soil and dirt and it started binding these rocks together. So the soil will fit in between the rocks and the sun will bake it like a cement bonding agent. And there you go. You have a turtle shell rock and it's incredible. It has the same design as the back of a turtle. What we're seeing here is a quartz sparkling in the sunshine. Now what's really interesting is that every rock in this entire park is made from the same mineral. It's the environment that gives it that unique shape and form.
The reason Red Rock Gorge has that name is obviously because of its color. After the swift changes in nature over the years combined with movement of the mountains, these quartz rocks came up through the ground. Now because of the oxidation of the iron that's within the rocks, the color has turned into a red hue, which is what we see today. Also guys, a quick word of safety. When you're walking along the gorge, make sure to be careful when passing other tourists because the paths can be quite narrow.
This is the tallest waterfall in Red Rock Gorge. At a staggering height of 200 feet, Shao Lam Pu, the Dragon's Head waterfall, is an amazement to see for all visitors.
The fresh water here is due to the local people protecting the area. They've made sure that all the areas remain non-polluted and untouched. But aside from the water, the rocks also remain untouched, as there are some old carvings on the rocks making the area into one large museum.
This is Huang Lo Pu, which is Yellow Dragon Waterfall. And as the water hits the rock, it sends this really refreshing mist throughout the gorge. Let's get a little closer. Now there's something about this waterfall that makes you want to jump in, but I know it's not a good idea.
Well, it's been a long day. Yuntai Mountain has offered us so many great views as we ventured through Chunpu Gorge, Tenpu Gorge, and Fuling Gorge before finally arriving at the famous Red Rock Gorge. Tomorrow, we'll visit the culture side of Yuntai Mountain by introducing you to the 7 wise men as well as a great poet. Then at night, we'll head to an ancient village called Yido Shui. I won't give away too much, but there is a great story behind this village. Okay guys, enjoy your day and I'll see you tomorrow.